I walked into the hotel lobby wearing my custom suit and a do not disturb stare. I was on a 3-day business trip to San Francisco, and I'd already decided the only way this trip would be worth the airfare was if I could turn the boutique hotel's executive suite into my personal runway. You see, I'm a senior product manager at a fintech startup that just closed a $200 million Series C, and I'm used to getting what I want. My calendar is always booked solid with meetings, but I always make room for personal brand time. That's why I booked a room at the Orion Palace, the place that's been featured in Condé Nast and Architectural Digest. I called the front desk a week before my flight and asked, "Do you have any complimentary upgrades for someone staying 3 nights?" The receptionist, a polite woman named Maya, said, "Let me check, sir." She put me on hold for exactly 57 seconds and then came back with, "We have a suite available for an additional $400 per night." I laughed. "Maya, I'm sure we can work something out. I'm a featured speaker at the TechCrunch Disrupt conference next week. I have a following of 250K on LinkedIn, and my tweets get more impressions than the average influencer's entire account. A little shout-out would be a win-win." She tried to smile, but you could see the gears turning. I wasn't going to let a $400 price tag stand between me and my perfect Instagram story. I asked for a manager. "Sure, I'll transfer you." The line clicked, and a new voice said, "John, this is Trevor, the general manager." I introduced myself, John Anderson, senior PM at QuantaPay. "I'm staying for 3 nights, and I was hoping we could make a small arrangement." Trevor's voice was calm, but I could hear the faint hum of the air conditioning in the background, a reminder that he was sitting behind a desk, not on the street. I laid it all out, my speaking engagement, the fact that my company's latest press release would feature the Orion Palace as the preferred lodging for innovators, and that I could bring in at least 3 potential corporate clients for a future partnership. I even mentioned the possibility of a photo shoot in the lobby for my newsletter, which goes out to 30K subscribers. Trevor was polite. "We appreciate your interest, Mr. Anderson, but our upgrade policy is fixed. However, I can offer you a 10% discount on the suite for the duration of your stay." I felt my eyebrows rise. 10%? That was practically an insult. I could hear Maya's nervous sigh in the background. "Trevor, I think we can do better. How about we give me the suite for free in exchange for a mention in my keynote?" There was a pause, the kind you hear when someone is trying not to laugh. "I'm sorry, Mr. Anderson, but we can't give it away. Our pricing is transparent. If you'd like to book it, you can do so now." At that point, I was a mix of disbelief and indignation. I asked to speak to the owner. Trevor said, "Our owner is on a business trip. I'm the highest authority on site." I told him, "Fine. Then I'll speak to the regional director." He put me on hold again, and I could hear the elevator ding and the muffled chatter of other guests. When Trevor came back, his voice was a shade more strained. "John, I'm really sorry, but we can't bend the rules for a single guest, even if they have a large following. Our brand integrity is important to us." That was the final straw. I stood up, smoothed my suit jacket, and said, "All right, I'll take the standard room. But I'm going to make sure everyone knows how this hotel treats its high-value guests." I walked away, feeling the sting of being denied the very little respect I thought I deserved. The next morning, I woke up in the tiny 400-square-foot room with a cracked view of the alley behind the building. I stared at the wall, feeling a mix of fury and humiliation. My phone buzzed with a notification. My LinkedIn post from the night before had already received 2,300 likes and a handful of comments. Someone asked if I'd be staying at the Orion Palace. I replied, "Absolutely. You'll see the pictures soon." I decided to take matters into my own hands. I called the front desk. "Maya, could you send up a fresh set of towels? The ones here have a strange smell." She apologized. "I'm so sorry, sir. I'll send someone right away." When the housekeeping cart arrived, I opened the door wide and shouted, "Excuse me, could you please leave those towels on the floor? I need them for a photo shoot." The housekeeper, a young woman named Sophia, looked bewildered. I handed her my phone and said, "Take a picture of the towels." I'll post them with a caption, "When a 5-star hotel can't even provide basic amenities, you know you're dealing with a joke." She hesitated, but I was already snapping a photo of the stained towels, the cheap plastic hook, the flickering fluorescent light. I uploaded it to Instagram, added a few hashtags, #travelfail, #hotelnightmare, #do-not-stay, then tagged the hotel's official account. Within minutes, the post went viral. The comments flooded in. "Did you really stay there? That's terrible service. I'm calling my travel agent." Meanwhile, Trevor called me back. "Mr. Anderson, I've seen your post. We're very sorry for the inconvenience. I'd like to offer you a complimentary upgrade for the remainder of your stay, plus a dinner at our rooftop bar." I could feel my pulse quickening. This was exactly what I wanted. "Trevor, I appreciate the gesture, but I think a complimentary upgrade for the entire trip would be more appropriate, given the negative publicity I've already caused." He sighed. "I'll talk to the owner and see what we can do." I hung up, feeling smug. Later that afternoon, I called Maya again. "Could you arrange for a bottle of the house's best champagne in my room? I'm celebrating a successful negotiation." She told me the hotel didn't have champagne, but they could provide a bottle of sparkling wine from the minibar. I demanded, "Make it a bottle of Dom Perignon. I have a client who's a connoisseur, and I want to impress." Maya hesitated, then said, "I'm sorry, sir, but we only have a limited selection. The most premium we have is a 2015 Prosecco." I slammed the phone down and marched down to the lobby. I demanded to speak to Trevor. "I'm not staying in a room that doesn't have the amenities I need for my brand. I need the suite, the champagne, the view, everything you promised in the brochure." Trevor met me at the elevator, his expression a mix of exhaustion and resignation. "John, we can't give you the suite for free, but we can offer you a 20% discount on the suite for the next 2 nights, and we'll provide a complimentary bottle of Dom Perignon from our bar. That's the best we can do." I stared at him, feeling the absurdity of the whole situation. I could have taken the offer, but I didn't want to look weak. I said, "Fine. I'll take the suite at the original rate, but I expect the champagne to be delivered in the next hour. And I want the room cleaned twice a day. If any of this isn't done, I will post a follow-up thread titled 'The Hotel That Can't Keep Its Promises.'" He nodded, a little too eagerly, and I walked away. The next hour was a blur. The bellhop escorted me to the executive suite, a massive space with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city skyline. The decor was sleek, the marble bathroom gleamed, and the king-size bed looked like a cloud. I dropped my luggage on the plush carpet, feeling victorious. A few minutes later, a staff member knocked and entered with a silver tray holding a single bottle of Dom Perignon, a 2-piece cheese board, and a handwritten note, "Welcome, Mr. Anderson. We hope you enjoy your stay." I took a photo, posted it on Instagram with the caption, "When the universe finally rewards a hard-working entrepreneur." The post exploded, garnering 5,000 likes within an hour. The following morning, I woke to find the suite immaculate, the champagne half empty, and a fresh set of towels. I felt a surge of triumph. My demands had been met. I posted another story, this time a short video of the city view, with the text overlay, "Living the dream, thanks to Orion Palace." That evening, I attended the rooftop bar with a few of my fellow conference speakers. I ordered another bottle of the same champagne, and the bartender, a guy named Luis, asked, "You're the guy who posted about us yesterday, right?" I smiled, "That's me." He laughed, "Man, we were so nervous after your post. We thought we'd lose a lot of bookings. You really turned it around for us." I felt a twinge of guilt, but quickly brushed it aside. "Glad I could help. You should consider a loyalty program for influencers." Luis shrugged, "We're working on it." The next day, I checked out. At the front desk, Trevor handed me a handwritten note, "Thank you for staying with us, Mr. Anderson. We hope to see you again." I signed the receipt, slipped a $500 tip into the tray, and walked out with my luggage and a smug grin. A few weeks later, I received an email from the hotel's corporate office. The subject line read, "Regarding your recent stay, important." I opened it to find a polite apology, "We regret any inconvenience you experienced." As a gesture of goodwill, we'd like to offer you a complimentary 2-night stay at any of our locations worldwide, valid for the next year. I stared at the screen, feeling the familiar surge of entitlement. I thought about the power I held, the ability to sway a brand's reputation with a single post. I drafted a reply, "Thank you for the offer. I'll consider it when I'm planning my next speaking circuit. In the meantime, I'll be sure to keep my audience informed about any future experiences." I hit send, feeling victorious. That night, I posted a final story on my Instagram, a selfie in front of the Orion Palace sign, arms crossed, captioned, "When you demand excellence and get it." Hashtag entitled and proud. The likes kept climbing, the comments raved, and my followers increased by another 12K. I closed my laptop, leaned back, and thought about the next hotel I'd upgrade through sheer will and a well-timed post. I didn't feel bad. I felt justified. After all, when you're a senior PM at a $200 million startup, you're entitled to the best anywhere, anytime. I'm not apologizing for it. I'm just doing what I'm paid to do: negotiate, demand, and get the results.